Your Excellencies, on behalf of distinguished guests, on behalf of the whole GE team, I want to add my thank you for allowing us to speak, and I look forward to participating in this conference. You know, GE Energy is a very broad global portfolio. It's up to $50 billion now. We have to keep track of the scorekeeping. And we've been involved in Saudi Arabia for a very long time. So if you just take a look at, in this tough environment, I think it's always good to kind of gauge how you think about the world. So this is a picture that we use today inside of GE Energy. Sort of we're looking at a three-speed world, various economic growth across the portfolio, but obviously you can see the Middle East and especially the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is a place where we expect very healthy economic growth. And obviously a country that is as rich in natural resources as Saudi Arabia, as rich in human resources as Saudi Arabia, and then you throw in healthy economic growth and you get, as Dr. Yamani said, a tremendous demand for investment in infrastructure, not only oil and gas infrastructure, but energy infrastructure. So we see also tremendous growth in the kingdom. Over 50% of the electricity created in the kingdom today is from GE technology. And as you see that growing over time, and as Dr. Yamani said, the balance between base and peak is also continuing to grow. And so the bottom line is that a mix of technologies is going to be the right solution for Saudi Arabia in the future. And obviously that mix can include renewables and nuclear and conventional technologies. So let's just talk about renewables. GE's been in the wind business now for over 10 years. We got in the solar business a couple years ago. We've invested billions of dollars in these technologies, and these businesses are continuing to grow, and these technologies are continuing to advance on a global basis. So just if you think about the future of energy across the globe, it is a diverse world, and obviously there is no perfect mix in any individual environment. So we see all technologies growing across the energy field, but renewable technologies, wind and solar, although they're coming off a smaller base, are going to see tremendous growth in the future, not only in the Middle East and Saudi Arabia, but all around the world. And so obviously we're balancing our portfolio to be consistent with that opportunity. If you look at solar, just as an individual technology, we announced several things this year. 12.8% efficient panel as validated by NREL, a third-party tester, the most efficient CAD-TEL technology demonstrated in the world. We've announced the investment of a 400 megawatt facility, which will be the largest manufacturing facility in the United States, enough solar panels to a year to power 80,000 homes. You can see that the levelized cost of energy of solar continues to improve to where, with the ITC in the United States, it's becoming relatively competitive. And you can see also that power electronics, GE, we have heavily invested in our wind converter technology, but the recent acquisition of Converteam expands our capability and capacity to connect technologies to the grid, and that provides a lot of value for solar panels to provide ancillary services and grid support. And then we're scaling solar to become more cost effective. So 1,000 megawatt, sort of 1 megawatt sort of global utility scale PV panels is where we're focused. And the bottom line is this technology continues to advance very rapidly and will be available to participate in the market, including Saudi Arabia. If you look at wind, we've invested over $1 billion in our wind technology. Our latest fleet, 16100, the 275, 103 are the most efficient, meaning the highest capture ratio wind turbines in the world. And you could just see how quickly over that 10 years, these technologies have improved. When you take a look at 30% capacity factors up to now over 50% capacity factors, so sort of an average wind site in the United States with the latest technology. And so we have almost 15,000 wind turbines in our installed base in the world over the last 10 years, and that's continuing to grow. And so these renewable technologies are clearly advancing. Companies like GE are investing a lot of money in the technology, and they are becoming more and more competitive with other forms of energy generation. There's no one mix, but certainly renewables will be a part of the mix as the world goes forward. And then one of the great things about having a $50 billion portfolio is you get to kind of mix and match. And so I would argue this is the ultimate mixing and matching. So in Turkey, we have announced that we are starting to progress on a project that takes our most advanced 50 hertz gas turbine, so what we call the Flex 50, the highest efficient, most flexible gas turbine in the world, and we are going to combine it with 22 megawatts of wind turbines and then 50 megawatts of e-solar, which is a thermal capture solar technology, and essentially put that together to make the most efficient combined cycle plant in the world. This plant right now on paper says it can get to 69% efficient. It really could get greater than that. But the bottom line is that within the energy space, these technologies do not have to live alone. They're not compartmentalized. They can be matched and married together, and in fact to create very efficient uses of energy. So we're very excited about this. This project is underway, and I think it's going to prove out a new sort of natural marriage between conventional and renewable energy technologies. So nuclear. GE's been in the nuclear business really since the inception of civil nuclear. We have probably the only technology that's had active construction kind of going on during that whole period of time, along with our partners. Today, GE Hitachi is a joint venture that is focused on the BWR space. We have a tremendous amount of resources focused on the energy and the nuclear business, and we continue to invest in that technology. Jim mentioned that the AP1000 license should be out shortly, and the SBWR license is right behind it. And so we are actively and aggressively participating in the nuclear business on a global basis with our partners. And in Taiwan, in Lungmen, we are just finishing, or over time finishing, the Lungmen power plant, which is a ABWR. It's a very large facility, one of the largest in the world, and Unit 1 is entering startup commissioning, and Unit 2 is heavily into construction. And so, as I said, the BWR technology, the ABWR technology, and then in the future, the ESBWR technology has been part of the GE portfolio for over 40 years, and we have continued to invest and exercise the muscles of our nuclear business, and we will continue to do that with Hitachi and our partners. And obviously, we also await and will fully support Dan and the government on the 123 agreement. Obviously, we need the right regime to participate, but we actively are going to support and hope for that for those negotiations to conclude. And then the next thing I would say is, as you get all these different technologies, you have to plug them together and run them in an efficient and effective way. We call that smart grid. I think in the end, when you think smart grid, I'd want you to think about three things. It's really about enabling renewables. Renewables create challenges for the electrical grid operators, so Saudi Electric Company or Florida Power and Light, it doesn't matter who you are. If you bring renewables into the system, you have to deal with the transient nature of renewables. And so smart grid can help you do that. You really have to also create more efficient uses of energy, so that's also some investment in technology can do that. And then really enabling the empowerment of consumers to manage their own carbon. So that's how we think of smart grid, and we're investing across that portfolio. And we see that as Saudi Arabia builds out to broaden their technology base within the kingdom around energy, they'll also have to invest in managing that better. GE has been a participant in Saudi Arabia for a very long time. You know, we have over 800 employees today. We, as I said, create about over half of the energy today. We just invested $250 million in a new manufacturing service and training facility in Dammam to support our installed base. It's one of the largest installed bases of gas turbines in the world. And we continue to invest. We have 800 people going on. We'll have over 2,000 when we fully staff the Dammam facility. We have several training programs that we're doing in conjunction with our friends in the different universities in KAUST and other agencies within the kingdom. We've invested over $300 million just in the last 3 years in increasing our capacity and capability and localization ability in Saudi Arabia and the Saudization of the General Electric Company there. And we're going to continue to do that. And we have a long-term history. We have a lot of commitment, and we believe in the future of Saudi Arabia. So I would just in close say that, you know, when you take a country like Saudi Arabia with great natural resources, great human resources, and great economic growth, you will obviously create the need to invest in infrastructure like energy. GE has been involved in the kingdom for dozens of years, and we are investing to provide the portfolio for the future, and that future will continue to have some traditional generation for gas turbines and steam turbines, but will be expanded to be, under the right regime, nuclear and renewables and advanced technologies. And Dr. Yamani, we look forward to having the portfolio to continue to serve you. So with that, thank you very much.